Hi, I'm Stuart from the Norfolk Honey Company and welcome to our Maisemore Apiaries sponsored series of videos. Today we've travelled up to our isolation apiary where we're using one of the Maisemore Apiaries commercial poly nukes to house one of the swarms that we collected recently. And I'll pop a link into the description below and also at the top of the video so that you can take a look at the swarm that we collected. It's been about 10 days to 2 weeks since we installed the swarm into this Maisemore poly nuke, so I'm hoping that the bees have been drawing the foundation really well. I suspect that with the amount of food that they've been taking that they should have drawn quite a few of the frames. We've got a good spell of warm weather now, so hopefully they're doing really well, and once they've progressed to fill the nuke we're going to transfer them across into a full-size poly hive that's also been supplied by Maisemore Apiaries. I'll put a link down in the description for all of the equipment that we're using that's been supplied by Maisemore, and I'm very grateful to Jonathan and the team at Maisemore Apiaries for helping us out with this project. So let's get the smoker lit and we'll pop across and have a look at the nuke. So this is the nuke. I'm just going to pop my hood up and then we'll take a look in the feeder. In fact, we can probably take a look. And they've taken all of the food down. There are bees in the feeder and we'll just bring the camera in and show you that. Okay, so you can see the feeder has got quite a lot of mould in it, so we're going to wash that out and then we'll top up the food when we're finished. But you can see the bees are still up in the feeder, working it quite well, and there's just a little bit of residual syrup down in the one side there. So I'm going to pop my hood up and then we'll get into the hive and have a look. So let's see how well the bees are doing. Well, they're certainly on a couple of the frames in here. So the bees have done really well in drawing this particular frame. You can see lots of pollen that's been put in around here, and then we've got some capped brood here, and the bees are working around the top where they've stored probably lots of the sugar syrup. And on the other side again we've got bees working. The frame still needs some work on it, but with it being a relatively small colony there's only so many bees that can do so much work. So let's just have a look at the other frames. So we've got 3 frames that aren't being worked, and here we've got again a fairly calm frame. There's lots of capped brood and some open brood. So I'll just turn it around. We've got a rudimentary queen cell at the bottom here, which we can just take off. We'll pop this frame back in. And then the last frame, they're not really working this side, but again they have worked this side and pulled it out quite nicely, and we've got lots of eggs in here, so the queen's laying quite well into these cells. And so we can close this up and then top up the feeder, give them some more sugar syrup to work with, and hopefully they'll go on to draw the remaining frames over the next few weeks. So I'm going to take the feeder away and give that a wash, and then we'll come back and we'll close up the colony complete. The one thing that you need to remember is to just avoid crushing bees, so just be fairly careful when you put the top back on. and then the roof simply fits back on top like that. So just a really quick inspection of the little nuke there in the Maisemore apiary's poly nuke. They're doing quite well. We need to make sure that they keep the sugar syrup going in, because as soon as that feeder is empty, they're struggling a little bit to be able to get all of the food in there that they need to be able to build more comb, and the more we feed them, the faster they're going to draw that comb. Well, I hope you found that interesting. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do consider subscribing. We've got lots of videos for you to watch and to share with you, and I hope you'll join us for more of those in the near future. We'll be back at the Maisemore apiary's full-size hives next week. We've got some interesting things to show you, and we've got to make one or two decisions about what we're going to do with the poly hives, but we'll save that for next week. Please do keep the comments coming, and all of the helpful suggestions, tips and techniques that you guys have been giving me regarding poly hives, and we'll catch up next week. Thanks for watching.